Guys, I'm Kristen and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing some napkin hacks. So for this first one, I'm just using a scrap wood piece and I'm going to be using the Waverly chalk paint in the color white. And I pretty much paint everything white in this video for the most part so I can lay napkins over the top. I'm using this really cute cardinal one, and I did cut it down because we only wanted that wreath in the cardinal, and every time I use napkins, I go ahead and use my Elmer's glue stick. I always like the ones that have that purple color, so I know exactly where I am gluing. I use a hair dryer to dry these quickly, and then now I'm just using my Gorilla Glue Gun, and I am just gluing the back side of that little wooden circle piece and gluing it right to the center of this really cute wood box. I picked up that wood box at Goodwill, and then I just threw one of my Christmas trees right inside of this. I think this is the cutest Christmas tree box. I'm just using some ornaments I had for the last couple years. These were from Dollar General, and right now I'm just tearing off that burlap and just painting right over the top. This isn't perfect by any means. You could sand it down to get a smoother finish, but once that napkin is on top, it really doesn't matter, so I thought I would just save myself a step for sure. It's always easier when you can do easier crafts without going outside, grabbing the sander. And I'm also painting that one white as well. And then a lot of my napkins came from Shipshewana. So it is a flea market in Indiana. It's actually a town, but they have a really cool flea market that I like to go to once a year. They have very inexpensive napkins. Some of these were 75 cents. Some of them were like $1.50. And you get like 50 or 60 napkins. You get a ton. So I'll definitely be using some of these for Christmas. Using that glue stick once again, I am just adding that napkin right to the ornament. And I love that little galvanized ornament piece. So I didn't take that off. I left it as is so I could glue it back on. This one, very similar as well, using that glue stick and just adding this napkin right to the top. So you could seal these if you choose to. I don't seal them, but a lot of people like to use Mod Podge to seal the top and also to glue them down. I just think that using a glue stick gives it a much smoother finish, and it is just so much easier and it dries so much faster. And I say easy because honestly, I was able to do all of these ornaments and DIYs with these napkins in just a couple hours, which is actually a really fast video. Sometimes videos will take me 2-3 days, sometimes even a week. Yeah, that is it. So I just threw these on my tree and they were really inexpensive. I think I probably paid like $0.25 for some of these ornaments because Dollar General has a lot of ornaments for 25 cents when they cannot sell them after Christmas. So sometimes waiting is just amazing because you get stuff for cheap. This next one, I'm using these wooden mason jars. I picked these up from Dollar Tree a long time ago. I loved the wood and how thick it was, and they stand up very nice. Sanded those down. I'm only using one in this video, so you'll have to stay tuned to see what I do with the other one. But I did use the color Hazelnut by Waverly Chalk Paint, and I figured since this napkin was a brown anyways, I wanted it around the edges, so I figured you wouldn't see through it anyways. You wouldn't know the color of the mason jar, so I just went with that. Glue stick, of course. These tiny little cookie cutters were from Hobby Lobby. It came in, you got a few in a pack. I just used some baker's twine. That is from Target last year. I just wrapped it up. No, actually, it's from Hobby Lobby. Regardless of where it is from, I just wrapped it around a couple times and had those cute little ornaments dangle, so it looks like little gingerbread cookies in a jar with just a couple little embellishments. I think this one is so cute. If you are new to my channel, I am absolutely obsessed with gingerbread. I have a ton of gingerbread videos and DIYs this year, so I'll link them down below if you guys want to check them out, but they are some of my favorites. On to this one. This larger wood tag is from Walmart. I want to say it was almost $2 possibly. I'm just using the back side because I didn't like the ridges on the front. Painting this white, once again, like I said, pretty much everything I'm painting is white because a lot of my napkins are very light, and once you rip those plies off of the napkin, so I did rip all the plies off, so usually they're like 2-ply, and I just ripped the back side off. Sometimes I don't do that, and when you don't, the top piece kind of starts to peel away from that second ply. So just always rip that ply off. It takes like seconds to do. But anyways, you can see that this napkin is very see-through, and that's why I painted most of them white. And then this napkin is from Dollar General this year. It was only $1 for like a pack of 20 napkins. I think this one is my favorite. It's so pretty. I love the barns in the background. I love the trees, the watercolor. It's all just so pretty. I decided to paint the top of that tag. I decided to paint it black because it was, I don't know, I didn't like the white. I wasn't going for it. I just wanted something to pop a little bit. Beads are from Amazon, made a little twine tassel, and that is it. This is the cutest little tag. I think I'm going to stick this in a tier tray. Grabbed these wood houses from Dollar Tree a while ago and finally using them, but I decided to use the back sides. I tried to pull off that buffalo check and it was such a pain. It was ripping the roof. It was not a good experience. So I just decided to flip them over, and I did use a tiny little heat gun. It is from Couture to take the tags off. These napkins were both from Dollar General last year and the previous year, and I was really excited that I had some more of the truck ones left because they match so good and they didn't even come out the same year. So I did cut them down because they actually fit perfectly along the bottoms of the house. So of course, using that glue stick once again to lay the napkins on. I was not able to save the little roof pieces on the back of the house, or actually the front of the house. I decided to make my own with some larger popsicle sticks, and I'm just using some miter shears to make some 45-degree angles. It's really nice because it is so precise on that 45-degree angle. I don't use these miter shears enough, so when I do, I'm almost just terrified of using them for, I don't know why, I don't know what reason, but they are honestly like the best things ever. I will definitely be using these more often instead of just trying to use scissors to cut things. I'm using the color Truffle for this roof, and then I decided to go ahead and use black for the other one. I don't know, which one do you guys like better? Do you guys like this truffle color, or do you like the black roof better? I don't know. I think I like the brown one, but the black always just makes everything pop, and since the letters were black, it just looks good. So using some embellishments. These are from the Target dollar spot last year, but I picked them up super cheap after Christmas. Added that wreath to the top of one of these, and these are the cutest little houses. Signs from Dollar Tree. I'm just ripping off that galvanized letters. There is no saving these whatsoever. There is like a little bit of like hot glue residue, but you can just pick that off easily. I was pretty shocked that worked out for me. Painted it white, of course, and then using my glue stick once again. I just love repeating myself and saying the same thing over and over. I'm sure you guys also love that as well. This napkin also came from that flea market I went to, and I just love cardinals. I actually did 3 different DIYs for cardinals. This one I did have to redo because if you can see that beak is off of to the edge, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, how did I not notice that? I was trying to line up the words, and then the bird's beak didn't show up, and I'm like, this is no fun. So when I put it together, I was like, okay. But I did want the edges to be green. The top was still white, which I find that just fine. I think it still looks really great the way it is, but I did want the edges to be that green color. I always use a sander or just a piece of sandpaper to kind of rub the edges or the excess napkin away from the piece, and it works out great. I know some people will burn it, but since I didn't use Mod Podge, I don't think that will work. I think it would just light stuff on fire. Actually, once I tried to do that, and it was just lighting the whole project on fire, like at my dining room table. So I just opt out of all of that. I think that this is just the easiest route to do. Glue stick, a piece of sandpaper, good to go. Adding some baker's twine to the top of this sign, and then I am just going to be adding a bow. If you guys haven't noticed already that I am using a lot of old signs and pieces from Dollar Tree, if you guys have them, let's start using them because I have had a bucket of this. This was like a bucket or a tote or a basket of items that I have had for the longest time that I'm like, I'm going to use these this Christmas, and that's what I did. So used a bow. This is from Walmart a couple years ago. If I tear apart projects, I just kind of reuse the same bows over and over. This wood piece, I wasn't sure what to do. This would be a really cute coaster, or maybe even like a base for a cool sign. I wasn't that creative when it came to this, but now that I'm sitting here like watching myself paint, I'm like, actually, this could have been a really cool base. Throw like a wooden dowel in there, make some like really cool arrows. I'm not sure. It'd be cool, so maybe I will do that. Yeah, maybe I will do that. That's actually really cool if I can find another one of these. I'm using the glue stick. This really cute napkin is also from that flea market. And then I just decided to glue all of the edges. I thought about kind of ripping them off, but I wanted to make it look like it was supposed to be there. And then once everything was glued, I just went ahead and used some paint to kind of paint over the edges and just dry brush over the top just a little bit, like I said, just to make it look like it was supposed to be like that. If I decide to use this as a one and only coaster, I will definitely be sealing this with some Mod Podge. I always grab these wood pieces at Dollar Tree every time I would see them. They were new for a while. Now they're just always there, and I feel like it's such a big waste of money to grab a small, tiny piece of wood. Unless you don't have a saw and you can't cut, then it's 100% worth it for sure. This napkin came from Dollar General. It is like a year-round napkin, a little buffalo check here. It is just in like the party section. It's always there. It's only one-sided, so there's just downfall to all napkins. I suppose a lot of them are just one-sided. This ornament also came from Dollar General this year, and I just decided to glue that right to the center. I kind of glued it as I was like sanding this down, and I cut the edges. This is kind of what I do. But the glue was not ready, like the glue gun was not warm enough, so I had to like re-glue the ornament. I was just really impatient with that one. But this is what it looks like when it is done, and I love that ornament in the center of this piece. In this one, I wanted to use this cardinal napkin once again, and I just had this piece of wood from Dollar Tree. I thought about making some sort of fun blank sign with it, but I decided to go ahead and just add this napkin right to the top of this, and I just love this piece as is. I didn't think anything crazy to do, anything different. I just really liked it the way it was, so I left it, and this one's adorable. But you guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed these napkin DIYs. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, consider sticking around and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!